Welcome to Kieu Dung channel. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to support me in creating more meaningful videos.
Today, we continue following the story of Sung Luyen, a woman facing a life filled with hardship and painful trials. Every day, she struggles to survive, carrying the weight of loss and uncertainty on her shoulders. Few people know that the tragedy that destroyed her life was caused by another woman, a woman who is now behind prison bars. In the past, driven by anger and wrongdoing, she committed many serious crimes. Among them was the act of setting fire to several homes, including the small house where Sung Luyen once lived with her child. Today, during a rare visit from her husband, that woman finally confronts the consequences of her actions. Overwhelmed with regret, she breaks down in tears. Her voice trembles as she confesses how deeply she repents the sins she once committed. With desperation in her eyes, she begs her husband to find a way, any way, to help her make amends, not for herself, but for the innocent mother and child whose lives she shattered. Because sometimes the true value of life is only realized after everything has already been lost.
On his way back, the man begins his search for Sung Luyen in silence. He walks alone along a long rural road, surrounded by quiet fields, scattered trees, and the distant sound of insects in the heat of the day. In his heart, there was only one purpose: to find Sung Luyen and somehow make amends for the losses his wife once caused. Each step forward feels uncertain, yet he does not stop. The sun rises higher, burning down on his shoulders. The road stretches endlessly ahead, empty and unforgiving. After walking for a long time, his strength slowly fades. He finally sits down by the roadside, resting beneath the open sky, breathing heavily as sweat runs down his face. For a moment, he closes his eyes. In his thoughts, he sees the regret in his wife's eyes, hears her trembling voice as she begged him to help repair the damage she had done. That memory pushes him forward once more. He stands up again, brushing the dust from his clothes, and continues walking without knowing how far this journey will take him. Not far away, on another narrow path, Sung Luyen is also walking. She is heading toward the banana grove, preparing to harvest what little the land can offer. Her movements are slow but steady, shaped by years of hardship and survival. Every step she takes carries the weight of responsibility for food, for tomorrow, for a life that allows no room for rest. Her eyes are fixed ahead. She does not notice the world around her, only the path she must follow. Fate quietly brings them closer. The two pass each other on the dusty road, separated by a few steps. No words are spoken, no glances are exchanged. To each of them, the other is just another stranger walking through the countryside. The man does not realize that the woman who has just walked past him is the very person he has been searching for since morning. And Sung Luyen, guarded by pain and experience, senses nothing unusual and continues on her way. After a few moments, the man slows down. Something deep inside him stirs. He stops walking and turns around, his eyes following the woman's fading figure as she moves farther down the road. A quiet question forms in his mind. Could that be Sung Luyen? Is this what she looks like now? Doubt holds him in place. He has no proof, no certainty, only a feeling that comes too late. After a brief hesitation, he turns back toward the empty road ahead and resumes walking. Behind them, the moment disappears. Two lives connected by a shared tragedy move forward in opposite directions, unaware of how close they have come. Sometimes destiny whispers softly, and when we fail to listen, it passes us by in silence.
A short while later, Sung Luyen realizes she has forgotten a few essential items. She turns back toward the small shelter to retrieve them, unaware that fate is about to bring her face to face with the same man once again. As they walk along the narrow path, the man accidentally drops a small bundle of money onto the dusty ground. He continues forward, not noticing what he has lost. Sung Luyen, walking behind him, sees the money fall. She hesitates for a moment, then calls out to him, telling him that he has dropped something. The man stops and turns around. Surprised, he walks back and picks up the money from the ground, relief crossing his face. He thanks her quietly, grateful for her honesty. For a brief moment, there is silence between them, the kind of silence filled with unspoken thoughts. Then, carefully, the man asks a question. He asks if she knows a woman named Sung Luyen. He asks where she might be living and what she looks like. The question freezes her in place. Inside Sung Luyen's mind, fear and caution rise at once. She studies the man's face, searching for signs, wondering whether he is kind or whether he carries hidden danger. Her past has taught her to be careful. Too many times before, strangers have brought trouble instead of help. Too many times she has been chased, threatened, and forced to run. She lowers her eyes and answers calmly, saying that she does not know anyone by that name. The man nods slowly. There is disappointment in his expression, but he does not press further. He thanks her again and continues walking down the road, carrying his unanswered questions with him. They part ways. Sung Luyen stands still, watching him disappear into the distance. Her heart beats faster than before. Her thoughts race. Who is he, she wonders. Why is he looking for Sung Luyen? The question unsettles her, stirring old memories she wishes to forget. She steps off the path and pauses, allowing herself time to breathe and regain control. Experience has taught her that survival often depends on patience and awareness. She does not follow him back onto the main road immediately. Instead, she waits. Only when she is certain the man is gone does she move again. Sung Luyen slowly returns to the main path and resumes her work, her senses alert, her body tense. The simple act of walking now feels heavier, burdened by uncertainty. She keeps glancing over her shoulder, listening to every sound, prepared to run if she must. Yet beneath her caution, there is also something else, a quiet confusion. The man did not seem threatening. His voice was calm, his questions felt sincere. Still, Sung Luyen knows better than to trust appearances. In her world, trust can be dangerous. As she continues down the road, the encounter lingers in her thoughts. Two strangers crossed paths once more, bound by an unseen connection neither of them fully understands. One searching for redemption, the other protecting herself from harm. Sometimes the hardest choices are not about what we do, but about what we choose to hide in order to survive.
The man continues on his way, stopping wherever he sees people nearby. He asks quietly about Sung Luyen, hoping someone might recognize the name or point him in the right direction. But each answer is the same. Too many people pass through this place every day. Too many unfamiliar faces. No one knows who Sung Luyen is or where she might be living. With every response, his hope grows thinner, yet he keeps walking.
Sung Luyen continues her way toward the banana grove, walking deeper into the quiet greenery. This place has become part of her daily life, a silent companion that provides just enough for her to survive. She moves carefully between the trees, her eyes scanning each plant, searching for a banana bunch that has fully ripened and is ready to be harvested. The air is warm and heavy. Leaves rustle softly above her head as sunlight filters through the canopy. Her footsteps are slow but steady, shaped by routine and necessity. She knows this grove well. Every plant, every path, every sound feels familiar. After a while, she stops. In front of her hangs a large, healthy bunch of bananas, full, golden, and heavy. For a brief moment, she allows herself a quiet sense of relief. This is what she came for. This is today's hope. She reaches for her knife, gripping it firmly in her hand. With careful movements, she cuts into the thick banana stem. The blade slices through the fibers slowly, and she supports the weight of the bunch as it begins to lower. The fruit descends gently, inch by inch, until it rests safely in her arms. There is no rush. She has learned patience from hardship. Sung Luyen trims the stem, adjusts her grip, and places the banana bunch into her old bamboo basket. The basket creaks softly under the weight. She bends down, lifts it onto her back, and straightens herself with a quiet breath of effort. The load is heavy, but she does not complain. With the basket secured, she begins the journey back. Each step presses into the earth, each movement reminding her of the responsibility she carries, not just the fruit, but her own survival, her child's future, and the fragile balance of her life. As she walks away from the grove, the banana trees stand silently behind her, witnesses to her labor. There is no applause, no recognition, only the quiet dignity of a woman working with her hands to earn another day. In moments like this, Sung Luyen does not think about the past, nor does she dream too far ahead. She focuses only on the present step, the present wait, and the path home. Because for her, survival is not dramatic, it is steady, silent, and earned one careful step at a time. Elsewhere, the man continues his search. He walks from one place to another, stopping whenever he sees people nearby. With quiet determination, he asks each person the same question, whether they know Sung Luyen or have seen her before. Some shake their heads, others pause to think, then answer softly that the name means nothing to them. Too many strangers pass through this land. Too many lives move in silence. With every response, the road ahead feels longer. Yet the man does not turn back. Though disappointment weighs on him, he presses forward, driven by a promise he refuses to abandon.
By now, Sung Luyen has reached the local market with the banana bunch she harvested earlier. The place is modest and crowded, filled with quiet voices and the sounds of daily trade. She sets the bananas onto the scale and waits, watching the numbers settle. After a brief exchange, the fruit is sold, earning her only a small amount of money, but enough for today. She carefully counts the bills in her hand. There is no sense of joy, only relief. With the little she has earned, she buys a simple lunch, basic food to carry her through the afternoon. Nothing more, nothing wasted. With her purchase secured, Sung Luyen turns away from the market and begins the walk back. Her steps are calm, purposeful. Another task completed, another small victory in a life built on endurance. Elsewhere, the man continues his search. He moves through different parts of the village, asking patiently, repeating the same name again and again, Sung Luyen. His voice remains polite, restrained, hopeful, but each answer brings the same result. People look at him with uncertainty. Some apologize gently. Others shake their heads and say they have never heard of her. They do not know who she is, nor where she lives. To them, she is just another unseen life among many. As time passes, the gap between them remains unbroken. Sung Luyen walks home, carrying food for herself and her child. The man walks on, carrying questions with no answers. Two paths continue forward, close in distance, yet divided by circumstance, silence, and timing, and neither of them knows how near the other truly is.
Sung Luyen finally returns to the small, fragile shelter she shares with her child, hidden beside a quiet stream. The structure is simple, made from leaves and worn materials, yet it is the only place she can call home. She gently sets the bamboo basket down and lowers herself to the ground. For a moment, she does nothing. She simply sits there, allowing her tired body to rest after a long and exhausting morning of work. The sound of flowing water fills the air, steady and calm, offering a rare sense of peace. Sung Luyen exhales slowly. She begins to speak softly to herself, words without an audience, thoughts without judgment. In the stillness, memories rise uninvited. The name James echoes quietly in her mind, bringing with it a familiar ache. She wonders how he is living now, so far away. She wonders whether his days are easier than hers, or if he too carries the weight of distance and responsibility. Does he still think about them, about her, about their child, in the quiet moments of his life? Her eyes drift toward the stream, following the gentle movement of the water. She imagines James somewhere far from this place, working under a different sky, walking roads she cannot see. She wonders if he still remembers the warmth of home, the laughter they once shared, the simple dreams they used to hold. There is no anger in her thoughts, only longing. Sung Luyen knows that life has forced them apart. She understands that survival sometimes demands sacrifice, even when it hurts. Still, the distance does not erase her feelings. If anything, it makes them stronger, heavier, harder to carry in silence. She lowers her head and allows herself one quiet moment of weakness. Not tears, but reflection. Here, beside this small stream and this fragile shelter, she continues to wait, not passively, but faithfully. She holds on to hope in her own quiet way, believing that somewhere James may still be thinking of them too. Even in hardship, her heart remains connected to him. And so, as the water flows and the afternoon light shifts, Sung Luyen gathers her strength once more. Because tomorrow will come, whether she is ready or not, and she must keep going. After resting for a short while, Sung Luyen slowly rises and begins preparing her lunch. There is no hurry in her movements. Every action is calm, familiar, shaped by habit and necessity. She gathers a few pieces of firewood and carefully lights the fire once again. The flames flicker softly, illuminating the small space around her. She rinses the only pot she has left, the last surviving item from the fire that once destroyed her home. Its surface is worn and darkened by time, but it still serves its purpose. She places the pot onto the simple stove. Today's meal is modest, just a packet of instant noodles and a single egg. Nothing more, nothing extra. Yet to Sung Luyen, it is enough. As the water begins to boil, steam rises gently into the air. She watches quietly, listening to the soft crackle of the fire. These moments of waiting have become part of her daily rhythm, moments where life slows down just enough for her to breathe. After a while, the food is ready. Sung Luyen sits beside the burning fire and begins to eat. She lifts each bite carefully, savoring the warmth rather than the taste. The meal is simple, but it fills her stomach and gives her strength. For her, this is not poverty, it is survival. Around her, the world continues in quiet harmony. Birds sing softly from the trees, their voices echoing through the air like gentle companions. The sound feels almost comforting, as if nature itself is sharing her solitude, listening without judgment. She pauses between bites and looks around. There is no house, no table, no comfort that many take for granted. Yet there is peace in this moment, fragile, temporary, but real. Sung Luyen has lost much: her home, her sense of safety, her old life, but she has not lost her will to live. Every fire she lights, every meal she cooks, every step she takes forward is an act of quiet courage. She does not speak of strength, yet she lives it every day, in silence, in simplicity. Life, she knows, is not measured by what we have, but how we endure when everything is taken away. As the fire slowly burns down and the birds continue their song, Sung Luyen finishes her meal and gathers herself once more. Another day has passed, another challenge has been met, and her journey continues. This is not just a story of hardship, it is a story of resilience, a reminder of the true value of life. If this story has touched your heart, please consider supporting the journey by subscribing to the channel. Your support helps keep these stories alive, stories of strength, survival, and hope.